Greetings one and all, Carm3D with you on the cozy internets. And yes, this video is for one and all. There's some information in here for my modeler students, there's some information in here for my rigging people, and there's also information in here for general lightwave guys. So there's a little bit here for everybody. Aren't you lucky? Alright, so as you know, for my students, you know that we're covering the structure of the eyeball, and so you can see I made a quickie eyeball here, separate polygon in there for the pupil right there, and here's an image I made for the texture. It's the same step. I just made a procedural fractal noise texture, and then I applied a zoom effect to it, and that is mapped to the texture UV map right there. And then back in here I made a weight map, and yes, I'm going to be showing you this to you in Lightwave because the odds are extremely high that when you get out there and you're doing this on your own, that you will be using software with more superior texturing tools, because as you know, I was lamenting the simplicity of what appeared to be what we had to work with there. So I wanted to show you what the rest of the market would be like when you're using different tools. So this is the weight map that I made to basically tell you where the image will be mapped. So you can see green here is 100%, and I have it dissolving out over these couple of polygon loops. And I also made this one, which just gives me a little dark ring. I didn't make it very dark because you know what that implies. I told you in class. That's enough here. Of course, there is the this part too, the lens. But let's jump into layout, and I will show you more details there. Okay, here's a look at the eye. Let's turn on VPR so you can see what I did here. I added this texture on the side here, and it's, you know, I did it real quick and dirty. These are all procedural textures. There are two of them. Let me turn them off individually so you can see. Let's see here. There's this, just a smoky noise, turbulent noise texture. And then the veins on top of that. And you know, these are not very anatomically correct. If you were to paint these, you can get more realistic results, but I just put this together real quick. Let me show you the node tree here. This of course is not a full how-to for using nodal textures because you guys won't be having access to Lightwave in your projects, but it's good to know this stuff just for the future. Just keep in the back of your head. Here's that original image. Simply, it's attached to the UV map, and then I have that going into a gradient. And now these colors are actually brighter than they appear when it renders because of the fact that Lightwave uses a linear color scheme, and that's a separate topic on it in itself. Just know that when it renders it gets darker. So anyway, this black and white image is going into the input of the gradient. So it's saying wherever it's black, it'll paint this color, wherever it's white, it'll paint this color. And then this is the cornea edge gradient, and it's another gradient. The previous node here is feeding into here, and then this is just applying a solid color along the edge, the outer edge of the cornea, to give a little darkness there, not too much. And now this feeds into this gradient, which is a combination of white plus all the vein stuff, the smoky red and the veins, and it's using this gradient as the alpha mask for here. So it's all the cornea color stuff is going into one of these, and then the red vein stuff's going into the other, the white and the red. And then the cornea weight map that I showed you in Modeler, oh, not that one, the cornea weight map is the alpha channel, or the black and white mask it's using there. So that's feeding into there, and normally I have it feeding into a SSS node, which is subsurface scattering, but because that does not give me real-time previews, I have it just going directly into here. So you can see that, but normally it goes in here and then this goes into here like that, but you know, that's part of the course. Alright, so let's look at the lens node now, and you may recall I was telling you that I would use two of these copies, one where the normal is facing outwards and another one where the normal is facing inwards, and then the out facing ones have a refraction value to them and the inward facing ones do not have a refraction value. And in this case, because Lightwave has evolved since then, it's simply using double-sided polygons, so both sides render. And in this node tree here, I'm using this node here that specifies the polygon side, and then when the polygon side is facing forward, it uses this material, and when it's facing the opposite way, it uses this material. So it's basically, this is transparent plus the refraction and 20% reflection, and everything else doesn't matter because it's not going to be seen. And of course the inside is simpler. It's fully transparent, there's no refraction. 1.0 is air. It does not bend the light whatsoever. And that's that. That feeds into there, and then that's what we get as a nice pretty rendering with refraction. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to load another scene here. Okay, I got my scene loaded up here. I went and modeled a simple bit of flesh to go around the eye. So I wanted to point out that when the eye is looking straight ahead, as it is right now, that these corners of the eye are lower than the center of your eye, horizontally speaking. So just a little bit of anatomy to note there when you're modeling your eyes. So moving on, this eye was modeled with the eyeball in place so that I can have the skin hugging where the eye is. But the eyeball was rotated around 180 degrees so that I was using a perfectly smooth eyeball as a reference for my modeling. I did not want the lens bulge affecting the placement of my eyelids, the flesh there. So that's that. The rest is all going to be about rigging. Let's dive into that now. I'm using a dynamic effect for the skin bulging around the lens. So this is happening with an effector, which is basically a null object. And let's dig into the nodes about how I did this. So those of you who are rigging in Cinema, you know, you're not going to be able to know how to do this exactly in Cinema, but it's just a good thing to know the basic structure of it. So let me select my effector. There he is. Let's look in the wireframe view so you can see a better view of it. It is a null that is a child of the eyeball, and it's just moving right along with whatever the eye does. You can see that I put it in the center, but it's further back, and it made it fairly large, so it basically fits that shape of the lens bulging right there. Now let's go into the nodes for the displacements of this guy so we can see how that worked. Okay. First thing I'm doing here is this is an item info node, and when I double click on it you can see that I am choosing my effector null object. This is a vector scale node, which is right here, math vector scale, and then that is basically taking a black and white image to choose the effect and then piping it into here. So let's look at that black and white image. That is being generated by this scalar layer. The scalar node is basically just an old-fashioned layer style texture node interface in case you have some procedural textures that are not node compatible, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm using an old IFW2 texture, And I will flash the URL for these guys on the screen so you can get into those guys if you want to. But I'm using the spherical node. So basically what it's doing is it's using that effector null as a reference, and it's painting whatever polygons interfere with it, that spherical area emanating from that null, are being painted white. And you can see that I told the sphere to have a radius of 0.299 meters. And I also have do outer enabled, and it's also inverted, otherwise I get white with the black dot, and I don't want that. So that is going into, let's plug that directly into here and see what that does. It's doing it, but the problem is the eyelid is getting very thin at the part where the displacement is happening, because this is getting pushed out, but this is getting pushed out as well. So it's having a thinning effect on the eyelid in that area where that's where the displacement is. So what I did was I made there's really no easy way to do it without just zooming in super close. I made a weight map going around this inside eyelid. There's a single polygon strip going all the way around, and so I made a very simple weight map where this is red and everything else is green. In other words, this is 100%, and I called it inside lid, I believe. So then what I did was I have this gradient here and this weight map. There it is, inside lid. And what this is doing is this is feeding into here where the weight map is 0. Where the weight map is 1, it is applying black at 39%. So it's basically darkening that bit of the flesh that is on the inside of the eyelid. So it is darkening, in other words, diminishing the effect of the displacements happening on the inside of the lid. So that pulls it back a bit, and we have our thickness maintained. So that's very good. Now, I did not bother with making the eyelids blink for this little demonstration for two reasons. One, it just takes a very long time to do, and two, I already have a perfectly good tutorial on that process, and it's called nonlinear morphs. It goes in a great deal of detail about making eyelids blink. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed it and get something out of this, and I will see you next time.